Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. As promised, I'm coming back to discuss those four trades: Purple Innovation, Beyond Meat, Bergwarner, and um, Rivian Automotive. Now, if we look at Purple, this is something I'm planning to go long on. Why would I not be wanting to go long on it just yet? Um, I'm looking for a good entry, but from what I'm seeing from the price action and from my indicators that are on here, not only is the stock gaining momentum going down, stochastics are not showing me any sign of turnaround. So the momentum is picking up, and the stochastics are not showing me any time of any indication that this will be going down. We are below the 250-day moving average, meaning that we are moving up, but this could be a very nice turnaround story. Once again, this company's been affected by a grave injury. One of their staff has unfortunately lost their life due to the manufacturing process, and ever since May, they've been trying to make that much better and ensure that this never happens again. One, technicals don't line up, so I'll definitely not be entering this trade today. This is the final step. I like the financials on this company. I like their product. They're making mattresses. This is something that, the business will always be there. And I'm pretty sure this company is going to do pretty well based on what their numbers are. Not to mention that a lot of their executives have been replaced with very good people, apparently. Not that I know any of them, but anytime you have a switch of CEO or financial officers or just operating officers, things tend to turn for the better as when you bring these people in, um, it's more often than not, it's a good thing for the company. And so we're at that point right now where this could be a turnaround story, but am I convinced to a point where I would enter this trade? Absolutely not. My stochastics are still bottomed out. And as you can see, the RSI is gaining momentum to the downside, which is not good. You want RSI to be gaining momentum to the upside. Okay, that's one trick for that. So now let's look at Beyond Meat, which was a potential short. And over here, we're seeing that it's a steady, gradual decline. Once again, I'm on a 1 year daily candle chart. And stochastic is confirming that there'll be a drop down. RSI seems to be gaining momentum down, even though it's been a little choppy over the last few weeks, and the price has gone nowhere. But this still makes it a pretty good hedge. Would I be interested in entering this right now? Potentially. Uh, I don't see why not. Where I'd be looking to enter this position is right here. You see the bottom of these two, the very lowest price for last week or last couple of weeks. When the price action breaks this support, this is where I would actually do my entry. So if the candle goes through this level, okay, and ends up closing below it, I will be interested in entering because everything's confirming that this is a good sell, including the price action. We're below the 250 moving average. This is a pretty good trade from what I'm looking at. Um, let's look at Bergwarner. This was a potential long. And over here, once again, I am not convinced. What I'm seeing is yes, the RSI is showing some upward trend, but it's been choppy and it seems to be turning back around. To top it all off, my stochastics are showing me that we're in an overbought situation and that it's actually going to be heading down. Ideally, I want my stochastics to be turning around right about here, not the inverse of that. And so I will not be entering this trade either. Now let's look at Rivian. And Rivian is a totally different story. This is something that IPO'd in November. They came out with an electric car and a truck. They tried to pitch it to a bunch of manufacturers like Ford. which decided not to buy their product because they want to do their own. And so this company has a great product, but they just don't have the capacity to manufacture it. So I don't see this company going anywhere from here. Um, this could be one of those, this could end up at $20 very soon. Yes, they have a nice truck, and yes, it could compete with Tesla. They do not have the infrastructure to compete with Tesla, first of all. Once again, RSI, nice downward slope, and the stochastics is confirming that it's opening up and it's getting lower and lower. This is a very good sell. Their financials are not the greatest. At the same time, their earnings have been negative. And this is a company that I would be okay with taking some trades in. And as such, we're going to include this in our portfolio. So I'm okay to go ahead with RIVN, which is Rivian. RIV, I'm just going to write that down. That's my short. And what we're looking for is a nice long at this point in time. And longs are not as hard to find as shorts are. Shorts are a little bit trickier. You don't want to make a decision on a short too prematurely. A lot of times it can be a turnaround story for a company, or you could get a short squeeze or whatnot. You definitely don't want a company that's got a price of like 15 or $5 and short that, simply because then you're going to have to multiply that. Let's say I'm exposed to 900 bucks and I want to buy something that's $5. Let's just quickly calculate how many of those shares would I have to actually buy. Like 45 or something. So 900 divided by 5 is 180, sorry. So 180 shares of Rivian. In case it went to rally to like 200, I would have to multiply that 180 by 130, and that's a potential loss of 23,400 bucks. I mean, is it ever going to happen? Probably not. Is it possible? Yes. And that's only if this stock was at $5. Now, if we were to buy with the same exposure, so $900, and divide that by 74, it's only 12 shares. Now, 12 shares times, and let's say it rallies to $200 times 200, we're looking at $2,432. That's about 10% of what we would have lost if that stock was bought at 74 versus $5. It's one of the reasons you want to sell a stock which has a high price. It has a high market cap. The high market cap is going to prevent it from jumping and prevent it from manipulation. What I mean by that is that stocks with a high market cap have a lot of investors to worry about, and they don't mess around with their data. They don't mess around with what's going on in the markets. As you can tell, this Rivian stock is actually, it's been falling steadily. It's up and down. But if you look at the trend ever since November, and right about here is where they found out from Ford that Ford's not going to be taking them up on their offer. So that's what happened, the big news for this company. And nothing new is coming. There's no contract in the works. If they do recover, it's going to be months into the future. At that point in time, I'll be out of this trade already. So I'll be looking to enter this trade based on what I'm seeing technically and fundamentally. Now, let's look for a long to replace that. And let's just quickly find long. So we're going to go to our screener again. And we've been through this in a previous video, but I do a lot of this. You should get used to that. Learn this. This is a shortcut to finding some of the nicest trades out there. So first of all, we're looking for something large. We're not looking for a small company. Small companies just tend to fluctuate and you lose your money really quickly. You want something for over, let's say, $2 billion, and our list decreases. I would like the price to be under $50. When you're going long, you want to buy as many as possible. So under 50 bucks, this is what we're left with. And then we're just gonna go through PE. And obviously, I'm not interested in any of these high ones. Those numbers are most of the time bogus. I'm looking for a PE of like 100, a 90, something along those lines. It's on page 3. Not to say that these companies won't be good, they are, but I just don't like these high PEs. And let's stay on this chart and just click on charts so I can quickly filter through some of the stuff that's going on here. Like I said, we are looking at fundamentals, but I just want to quickly pre-filter to price action to make sure that something that, see, here's a good company. It's a REIT, and real estate has been doing pretty well. Let's look at these guys. INVH. Okay, I like the price action. They're near the bottom of the channel. Earnings per share is growing for next year. The sales quarter over quarter at 11%. The beta is at 89, which is less than the S&P 500. But all the other numbers look pretty solid. Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to verify that. So we're going to go INVH. I've actually owned this company before, made some money with it, and that was pretty good. Their financials. If you look over here, steady increase, beautiful numbers. Even 2020, they've done really well. I don't see this ending. I see this continuing, and as such, this is going to be a pretty good long for us. So INVH, I'm going to open that up, and we're going to add that in here. Okay, so we have INVH Rivian, and I'll show you how I put this together. INVH, go back to Yahoo. INVH, got some data there. And their beta is at 0.89. Okay, we've known that already. 0.89. Now, Rivian doesn't publish their beta. Well, let's actually show you what I mean by that. RIVN 42.83. Just quickly going to enter the price. 42.83, and this calculates how many shares of INVH I have to buy. And now we're just going to calculate how many shares do I have to sell of Rivian in order to hedge that position. So back to here, Rivian 74.44. Let's put that in here right away. 74.44. And now it's just a matter of figuring out what their beta is. Now, like I said, Rivian does not publish their beta. You could go by the ATR, but what I like to do for companies that don't do this is just give them a 1, like a nice ratio. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to enter a 1 over here. And that tells me to sell 11 for every 22 that I'm buying of INVH. And last step is to figure out if their price action confirms what I'm looking at. Their financials look good. Sure, the markets analysts are agreeing with me. This is a pretty good buy. Let's go through and get some of their history information. So Rivian, historical data. Once again, we're going to copy this. And we're going to go back to our Excel. We're going to click on Rivian history here. Data, new query from other sources from web. Sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. I just got too many screens going on, and I'm looking at the one that I need to be looking at. So just bear with me, or stop paying attention to what I'm doing down there. Just pay attention to the screen. And here we go. It's connecting. It's going to establish the connection with the data server. Once again, we need table 0. And we transform the data. Once again, to remove any errors in the data. So we're transforming the data. Okay, and if you scroll through, there are no errors here, but it's just a good measure to always do that just in case an error does pop up in the future. So we're going to remove the duplicates again. We're going to close and load to, and that allows us to load it directly to here as long as we choose existing worksheet and add this data to data model. Click load, and that will populate this here, and our charts are going to start waking up as well and coming to life. And that will show us if the ratio between these two trades is actually a good trade ratio to trade, or if it's something we shouldn't think about, or if it's something that maybe we should put on hold for now and wait until a better time. This is actually my last filter, and you'll see once the INVH is in place, let's look for INVH data. Yahoo Finance is great for information, free information. They publish all this stuff for free. You don't have to pay for it. The paid subscription is much better, I'm sure, but what they give you for free is just amazing anyway, so I don't worry about it. Once again, you want to click on this, data, your query, sources, web, Control V. And like I mentioned before, this does require a little bit of work, but it pays off in the long run because this will continue running for as long as I want it to until I delete it. And it will show me the ratio between the two trades and what my performance is like. And if I'm at a peak and then start losing 10% from that, then I close the trade. Like it's essentially it's a trailing stop loss. This data's old. Let's just refresh that. Remove rows as usual. Remove duplicates. Close and load to. And these are instructions you want to follow very carefully. Learn how to do this. That's why I'm doing this so many times. It's second nature for me already. But if you decide to do this on your own, you want to do this over and over and over until this does become second nature, and then it's just an easy step. For now, it may be, oh man, that's too much work. It's not a lot of work, and essentially this prevents you from doing too much work in the long run. You don't have to flip through all these different pages. This actually just adds it all up for you. Oh, the data for one of them is really short because they just IPO'd. Okay, so, but as you can tell, the ratio, which is going up in a straight line, it's beautiful. And as such, we will be going ahead and purchasing this. And so, should I be showing you my account? I suppose, why not? Let's drag that over here to show you what's going on here currently. I have nothing to hide. I might have to cover up some account numbers and whatnot. Do I? Oh, there's not much on here. This is just a representation of my. Okay, so let's actually go in and purchase this stock. I'm actually going to just throw this off to the side here so I can focus. So I want 22 INVH. I've chose my company. I have two separate accounts. I use one to go long and I use the other to go short, just to keep things simple and separate. And so I'll be looking to buy INVH. Let's open up INVH. Okay, I'm looking to buy some with this account. And we're looking for mid-price quantity 22. And we're looking for mid-price, and we're going to submit that order, transmit. Okay, we've bought it, and there it is. Currently losing $1. Doesn't matter. We're going to switch to the other account now, which is the shorts. And we're going to sell 11 of Rivian. So we're going to look up Rivian, R-I-V-N, Rivian Automotive. This is the electronic car manufacturer. There's too much big competition. We're going to go sell. The quantity was 11. We're gonna do a mid price and submit, transmit. And this should fill in. And it just filled in fully. Okay, so Rivian also losing $1 at this time. If I go back to all, those two positions were now added to my portfolio. There we go, back online. Okay, so currently they're both down $1, but this is just like the first minute or so. And so now I can look at my average price, 42.86 or 88, and I can actually add that here, 42.88, so that my calculations are as close to what they actually are. And 73.99.8, so that's actually a 74. And as you can tell, currently the profit is minus $5.41. That's because I'm actually taking into consideration that there are some fees here and there. It's like a couple of bucks here, a couple of bucks there, give or take a few dollars. But that's where we are. We just opened up a position. It's a long and a short. Thank you for sticking around in this video. As I promised, I was going to go through an entry process on something, and now we've done that. I'm going to look for a couple more trades, not to mention the Purple Innovation and Beyond Meat. I'm actually, and the BWA, I'm looking at those, but those are not perfectly set up. Remember when we first started this series, I had a pretty big drawdown right away on day one. That's because I didn't time these trades properly. Moving forward, I will be timing these trades properly, and what I want to do is ensure that I enter at the most optimal situation. I don't enter at the wrong time again, where it's like overbought and I'm buying. If you look at the chart itself, or sorry, my portfolio manager, no matter what these prices are doing, as long as the ratio keeps increasing steadily, and this is over the last 2 months, it's gone up 50%. So that's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. So what I'll be looking for is more of that. And we'll get back to you with the results on this. So this is day one. We opened this on January the 18th. And we'll get back to this trade and we'll see how it turns out. It may lose, it may win. If it goes down minus 10% right away, I will close both. If we go to 30, once again, I will be increasing the position. And that's that. That's everything for this video today. Thank you very much for sticking around, and see you on the next one.